You click here because you want to figure out what your budget is, and that is a very complicated thing, but we're going to break it down today in 3 easy steps so you know what you can afford when you purchase your first home. Hi, welcome back to another Coffee with Coleman, where we love to discuss Washington, D.C., business, real estate, all that good stuff. My name is John Coleman. I'm a real estate agent here in Washington, D.C. with the Jason Martin Group. So one of the things I hear about most often when I sit down with people that are buying their first place, or even in the comment section of my videos, is how do they figure out what budget works for them? And the truth is, it's different for everybody. So you need to know your own individual situation. So we're gonna give you the steps today of what you need to be thinking about to put yourself in the best position to win. In no way, shape, or form is this a bypass for talking to a mortgage person. You need to talk to a mortgage person. They are the ones that know the ins, the outs, and the roundabouts of the things you need to be thinking about as you go through this process. And most importantly, here in DC, there are some fantastic ways to take advantage of first-time homebuyer programs and tax credits and things of that sort. They're gonna be the ones that really set this up. But today, we're gonna give you a high-level overview so you know what to expect. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about is what rent versus income looks like. Now, I have an entire video based on what it looks like for renting versus buying. And I'll tell you the honest truth, which is renting is often cheaper in DC than buying a place. So you better be pretty well aware of the benefits of what homeownership can look like here in DC on a long-term basis if you're really factoring this in. If you wanna have the cheapest cost of living, it might be renting. Figuring out how that looks, you do wanna compare what you can get for your rent, for your budget on your monthly if you're going to be having a mortgage payment. Your rent is pretty straightforward. Your rent is your rent. You pay the rent. Your mortgage is paying down principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. There's more that goes into it, and there's tax benefits to some of that as well. And additionally, most importantly, you are putting money in your own pocket with your principal. You're getting the tax incentives by paying the taxes. As opposed to rent, it's still just rent. Truth be told, you're probably gonna qualify for more mortgage than you're gonna want. So what we often do is we start to do a backward series of math. We start with, what does your monthly payment need to look like in order for you to be satisfied? And there's a lot of schools of thought about where that should be. The general consensus is you should be about 30% of your gross income per month in order to be living in a spot where you can still take vacations and put money towards retirement. But honestly, DC's one expensive ass city. And so that means oftentimes people are gonna be pushing the upper limits of what that looks like. The numbers I see from mortgage people is generally you wanna be between 28 to 30%. Now there's gross and there's net. And I'll be honest with you, before we started shooting this video, I had to figure out what the difference was between gross and net. And here's what I learned. Gross is what you have before all the taxes come out, before everything comes out. Let's say you make $100,000. First of all, good job. That's pretty sweet. That means you're going to be bringing in about $30,000 per year that can go towards your mortgage. And approximately, that's probably gonna be about $2,500 a month that you can put towards your mortgage payment. You know what that 30% doesn't include? Cost of owning a house. These things are expensive. Like, I just broke a dishwasher, which means I need a new dishwasher. Was I planning on spending $4,000 on a dishwasher this week? No. So homeownership, not always glitz and glam. You gotta budget accordingly to be successful long-term because it does cost money to upkeep a house. And the third most important thing is getting the right person around you. You wanna get a really good, trustworthy mortgage broker. Earlier in the video, I told you, get someone that knows about programs and stuff. I recommend having someone that works in DC, that knows what's going on. And in fact, I have an entire video about how you should pick your mortgage person. It's not just about getting the best rate. It's about getting the best overall process from start to finish as well. So one of the things you're gonna hear about most often from the internet, with the wild place that it is that you should pick a mortgage broker that's local. And I really wanna highlight why this is important because it should be just, hey, this person has the best number. That's the person I should go with. That's not true. You wanna make sure that you not only get the best number for yourself, but you have someone that can put you in those programs that can save you money. You also want someone that can vouch for you. DC market's competitive. If you wanna come ahead in a competitive market, having a mortgage broker with a name that has some clout to it could have your offer get accepted more likely than some other lender that nobody's ever heard of because they're like in Hawaii or something. I wish I was in Hawaii, but listen, you want to have someone that knows the area, can vouch for you, and has some clout because that's going to give you the best chance of getting the place that you really want. Here's the honest truth. Purchasing a home isn't for everybody, but it's something you should explore. There are financial implications and benefits of owning real estate, and if it works for your life, you should look into it. Sometimes renting is good for some people, but you need to know what's best for your situation, and that's why you bring in the professionals to figure out your financial spot and what makes sense for you long term. All right, so that's what I had today. If you have any questions, you can either put them in the comments below or just reach out to me. I love to chat. Real estate's my game, and I would love to answer any questions you have. In the meantime, I just really want to thank you for stopping by another Coffee with Coleman. Peace.